Welcome to another video from Robotic Mower Services. I dug a little piece of Automower history out here for this video. This happens to be the 430X from 2019 that I used in the video to show that you can convert a low cut to a high cut. This is the first one to ever be converted from low cut to high cut. That is this mower right here. And I have this out because I want to talk about the high cut conversion kits. Give you a little bit of history here. Back in 2018, in the fall at the dealer meetings, they announced that coming out in 2019, they would have these new high cut mowers. It would be 1-inch higher cutting height. And of course, all the dealers ran to put that out there to the public. Hey, guess what? You wanted a higher cut mower? We got them coming next year. So the people that already had Automowers saw that and were like, awesome. So how do I get my existing mower to cut higher? And the response was, well, you can't. There's no way you can do that. What you need to do is just take your Automower you have, whether you had it for a week, a month, a year, whatever, sell it, take a big loss on it, and come back into your dealer and buy a fresh, shiny, new, high cut. Yeah! Of course, that made a lot of people mad. There's a lot of back and forth about wanting the existing mower to cut higher and how it couldn't be done and all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, I think it can be done. I had yet to see one in person or anything, but I was a Lego kid, so I went on to the dealer site, looked at the parts breakdowns, and figured out what you needed to be able to convert a low cut to a high cut. Argued with a bunch of people on social media, made a video showing that it can be done, and we were selling high cut conversion kits ever since. Now, up until probably midway through this summer here, we were selling them pretty regularly. But this summer, we're in 2022, there was just price increases on everything. And we were still selling them. We're in October now. We're still getting a lot of emails and people contacting us about high cut conversion kits and why we have them listed on the website, but they're not available. When will they be available again? The problem is the cost is just so freaking high on all the parts right now that we're just doing that as a as needed basis. And it's going to depend on how serious the customer actually is on really wanting to do it. And I'm going to get into all that stuff here in just a second. When we started offering these, I was actually contacted by some people who at that time worked at Husqvarna, and they said, what's your demand for these? How many people do you actually have that are interested in these, and how many do you think you'll sell? And can you tell us what parts you use to do it? So I sent them all that information, and a couple of days later, I said, hey, what's going on with all this? Are you guys going to start offering something to help these customers out, that are wanting to raise the cutting height on their existing low-cut mowers? And they said, no, it's just a niche thing. After this year, nobody will want those parts. They won't have to worry about, converting their low cuts to high cuts because everybody just buy high cuts, and, there's no point in putting any time into that. So again, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and they're still asking for them. Somebody kind of misjudged that one. But at any rate, I just wanted to add that in there just because I think that's funny every time I think about it. So let's get into the parts here and why the cost is so high on everything, especially the whole kit in general to do the conversion. Most expensive part, we'll start with it. It's actually the biggest part. That's the body. You have to use a high cut body, whether it's a 450XH or a 430XH. The body is going to be the same. So the body is just this part coming around here. Your wheel wells here, the nose. The front bumper is included on that, but you do not get this piece. You don't get the headlights, you don't get the charging contacts, you don't get the magnet holder underneath the charging contacts, you don't get the rear bumper, and you don't get the ultrasonic sensors if it's a 450. You get just this shell with the front bumper on it. That's it. There's a lot of grumbling from people when you say that because they want to right away fight back with, why can't I use my existing one? It'll snap down on the joysticks just like this one. Two main reasons: safety and stability. Safety, because if you put your low-cut body on a high-cut mower, bumper is going to be up higher. So now that mower is going to run over the feet of children, the feet of adults, run over your pets, run over other things out there in the yard that it shouldn't be running over, damage them, hurt them, injure them, and open you up to a lot of liability, possible lawsuits, and other headaches that you just do not want. So you have been properly warned right now that if you use a low-cut body on a high-cut mower, you're going to have a lot of issues. You're putting a lot of stuff in danger, whether it's people, objects, pets, whatever. Don't do it. Get the high-cut body. Put it on there. The other one was stability. This body is bigger. It's a little bit wider, just a little bit different design, and the reason for that is the mower's sitting up 1 inch higher. So it's going to stabilize the mower. You say, well, my yard's perfectly flat. Well, if there's a little bit of a bump, or it goes over a sidewalk, or there's an incline of any kind somewhere, that's the whole point of this thing, to help stabilize it. So, safety and stability. You want the high-cut body, necessary to properly, safely convert your low-cut mower into a high-cut mower. Do not skimp on this part. This part from Husqvarna has an This part from Husqvarna has a current MSRP, manufacturer's suggested retail price, MSRP, of $650. And again, it does not come with this part, charging contacts, headlights, the magnet holder under the charging contacts, rear bumper, or ultrasonic sensors if it's a 450. It is just this shell with the front bumper on it. That is it. $650 right now, MSRP from Husqvarna. The good news is, this piece, your ultrasonic sensors if it's a 450, and your headlights, your charging contacts, you can reuse them from your existing mower. Unless you have a 2016 or 2017 430X with the bug eyes out front there, then you need to buy this, and you need to buy the headlights. That's going to run the price of everything up even more. So, again, if you have a 450 or a 2018 or newer 430X, you're going to get away a little bit cheaper because you can reuse this, reuse the headlights, reuse the charging contacts, and reuse your ultrasonic sensors. The magnet holder in the front, like I said, the body does not come with it. It cannot be reused. Your mower should have this magnet holder in it. You need this one for the high cuts. This one has two mounting holes. Flip it over here, it's easier to see. One there and one there. It's made to fit into the high cut body. This one will not, because it puts the magnet right over the circuit board for the collision sensor. So you have to use this. This magnet holder here is $22 right now, MSRP from Husqvarna. Then, come to the back. Got the rear bumper. Rear bumper has to be used because of clearance issues. So the mower stops when it should. And it's designed to fit with the high cut body. So your existing bumper will not fit with the high cut body. You have to buy the high cut rear bumper. $90 MSRP from Husqvarna for a brand new high cut rear bumper. So right now you're jumping up there in price pretty good. That's what, $760. Excuse me, $760 for a rear bumper, a body, and a magnet holder. Now, flip this over here. This is the part where all the magic happens. The low cut, oh, I'm sorry, not low cut. The high cut lower chassis. You can see why that's so confusing. High cut lower chassis. This is where you get the extra cutting height from. You can tell the high cut lower chassis because the wheel motor mounts are down lower than the bottom of the chassis. They moved that down a ½ inch past the bottom, and that, along with the extra ½ inch that was, before they got to the bottom of this, gives you that 1 inch extra lift on the mower. You can also tell the high cut lower chassis by the area here for the front loop sensor. This is like a little cup right here that the loop sensor sits down in, so that way it actually sits down in closer to the boundary wire instead of being raised up higher out of the way, so it doesn't mess up the signal sensing too bad from the boundary wire. So again, if you're looking for a high cut lower chassis, you're looking at some used parts, you want to make sure it has the wheel motors mount down lower than the bottom of the chassis, has that dished down part for the front loop sensor. That's how you're going to be able to tell. This high cut lower chassis, MSRP on this from Husqvarna currently is $140. $140 for a high cut lower chassis. You're going to take everything out of your existing lower chassis and swap it over to the new high cut lower chassis. So that's it for the mower. That's the main components for the mower that you're going to use to convert your low cut, your 430X, your 450X into a high cut, into a 430XH or a 450XH. Those 4 components on the mower itself. So you're roughly $900 right there. Those four parts: the magnet holder, the body, the rear bumper, and the lower chassis. Then you have one more part yet that you definitely need, and this was the one that was hilarious to me, because everybody was like, yeah, well, we know, you just put those parts on this mower and you converted it, and it's a high cut now, and it's sitting 1 inch higher, but how's it going to go into the charging station? It can't charge in the charging station. It's going to be too high to go into the charging station. Here's the thought. If you're taking OEM parts from a high cut mower and putting them on a low cut mower to make it a high cut, why? Just hear me out on this. I mean, this is coming from left field. Why wouldn't you use high cut charging station parts on your existing charging station to make it a high cut charging station? I know, crazy idea, but hey, this is the one part that's different on the charging station. This housing right here, the tower, you swap this out, and then you put the top back on there, the original top, you use the original base, and then all of a sudden the mower can park in there. That's it. That one piece raises everything 1 inch. That's all you needed for the charging station, and it just blew my mind that people weren't realizing this. So, but at any rate, this tower here, it comes with the wiring harness, and it does not come with the contacts back here. It does not come with this plate or the plate under it. You have to reuse that from your existing charging station along with the top and all the other parts. But this tower and the harness, that's what you need to convert your charging station to accept a high-cut Automower. This tower assembly currently has an MSRP of $160 from Husqvarna. So altogether, you need 5 main pieces. Five main pieces to convert your Husqvarna Automower, your 430X or your 450X, and the charging station to a 430XH or a 450XH. 5 pieces. The high-cut body, the high-cut magnet sensor, the high-cut lower chassis, the high-cut rear bumper, and the high-cut charging station tower. That is what you need. That's all expensive stuff there. The grand total, $1,062 for those 5 parts. 5 parts, $1,062 right now. And I imagine that's going to go higher. And the reason for that is the cost of making the plastics. This isn't just a Husqvarna thing. We're seeing it from many other manufacturers in the outdoor power equipment industry. The the chemicals, the polymers, the resins, everything that they use to make the plastic parts and the components for these mowers, all that stuff is just going up in price. You know, you take into consideration that these high cuts are only made here for North America, so the cost of the high cut specific parts was already way more because they're not mass producing them like all the other ones that are made for models all around the globe. So these were already higher. Price of plastic parts is going up. They're going to go up even more. You know, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, I think this body was like $450. You know, it was still expensive, but compared to $650 now and going up, yeah. So you can understand, hopefully, why we don't have them just listed as, yep, they're available and ready to go, because it is a big cost. When you get into the 430s, you know, a brand new 430XH is $2,500. You're at $1,000 already for just converting this thing over to a high cut. If it's a 2018 model, you know, maybe you got a wheel motor starting to go bad. That's another $300. Even if you don't have anything going bad on your existing mower, when you go to swap everything out of the lower chassis, you're probably going to put new bearings in there for the front axles for the caster wheels. That's 4 bearings. I think they're like, I don't know, somewhere around $10 a piece. There's another 40. You're going to want to replace the retaining clips on there. That's a couple dollars. You know, little things like that, they start to add up. You're swapping everything over in the lower chassis. If it's a 2018 model, you should be replacing that bellow on there for the cutting height adjustment system. That's supposed to be done every couple years. So there's some more money. You know, it's going to start to nickel and dime the whole process, and you're getting up there close to half the cost of a brand new mower at that point. So if you need wheel motors, then yeah, you know, you're definitely over half the cost. $300 a piece right now for wheel motors. You know, and a brand new one would come with a 2-year warranty. It would come with a brand new 4G Connect board. It would have some upgraded circuit boards in it. Have the upgraded loop sensor board in it. You know, there's a lot of benefits to buying a new one. When you start to get that close to the cost of a new one, you got to really juggle that and maul that one over. Now, if it's a 450, that's a little bit different because you're talking about a higher priced machine. Where it would get a little tricky on a 450 is if it's like a 2016 model. You know, you got an older loop sensor in there, you've got old version 01 or 02 wheel motors, and you're riding around on borrowed time with them. It's got, you know, you're up to like 5 seasons on the battery now. So how long are they going to last? If you got to replace the batteries, that's going to be a good chunk of change. So at that point, you might say, okay, maybe it's time I just, you know, try to sell this one, part this one out, or keep it as spare parts for my new one, buy the high cut. You know, it's really hard to say, but it's a lot to take in, a lot to consider, and I just want to take the time to put that all out there and explain to you why we haven't had the high cut conversion kits available for so long now. If you really want one, you know what you're getting into now. So if you really want one, send us an email. Send us a message through the website. You know, let us know for sure you definitely want one. The price is going to be probably changing monthly. It's really hard to say because the price of the parts keeps changing. So the price is definitely going up on the conversion kit. Now, when we do offer this as a kit, you know, I'm saying that it's $1,062 MSRP on all this, on those 5 parts, to the 5 mandatory parts to do this. We take a little bit off of that because we're selling you the kit. You know, we give a discounted kit price when we do that. So it really depends on how much our cost keeps going up as to how much of a discount we can give on that. And then we have been including the bearings. We've been actually installing them in the lower chassis for your front axles on your caster wheels. So that's $40 there. You know, MSRP. We're throwing them in. We're also including the retaining clips for the front caster wheels to replace them, so you have the new ones, and helping you out there. So really, it's just going to be on an as needed basis, and as people reach out to us, we can give you a price. You know, because shipping's going up too, and this part right here, that's a big part to ship. That was getting pretty expensive when we're shipping some of them down to Texas and stuff, and we try to ship as much as we can in one box, but it started to get pretty pricey. There for a while, we were splitting the shipping with a customer. You know, sometimes it was nearby. We were covering the majority of it, you know. So it really all depends on the situation and where it's going on when it comes to the shipping, on how we can handle that. But yeah, that's the story with the high cut conversion kit. You know, if you've reached out to us asking about it, you know, we've been pretty upfront and honest with you about the cost of the parts, and you know, weighing your options and letting you know, hey, we've done as much as we could to help everybody out. We're still here to help with this if need be, but it's gone beyond our control right now. We realize that the cost is high, not our doings. We're only offering it as a way to help you guys out. We're not offering it because we have to. We're not offering it, you know, to try to sucker somebody into spending a lot of money to convert their existing mower. It's nothing like that. You know, it's there because I was the one that came up with it. You know, I was the originator of it, and people ask for it. You know, so I kept it going. But that's where we're at with it now. So hopefully you guys understand all this, and now you see why I'm saying, hey, shop around for some used parts. You know, because your mower's already used, right? You're converting it to a high cut, so this part here is probably scratched up, just like this one is. Do you really need a brand new, shiny, unscratched, unblemished body? Or can you get away with one that's used that has a couple scratches on it? Same with the charging station tower. Maybe somebody has a mower that got ran over, and they got a new one, and they don't want to keep their old charging station around. So, or maybe they upgraded from a 430X. No, maybe they upgraded from a 430XH to a 450XH, and they want to get rid of that charging station because it doesn't have the option for the third guide wire. You know, there's a lot of scenarios out there where you could find parts for a little bit less money. They're just not going to be brand new. Well, I shouldn't say that, because maybe you can find a dealer that's going out of business and just selling out parts, just blowing them out. You know, it's hard to say these days. There's all kinds of possibilities. So if you do start to piece things together, let's say you got a charging station tower, you got a rear bumper, now you just need a magnet holder, you need a body, hit me up. www.roboticmowerservices.com. Go on there, whatever parts that you can't find to do your conversion. If you don't see them on there, send a message through the website or send an email, roboticmowerservices@gmail.com. Let us know what you got going on. Again, mower model and serial number. We need to know all that stuff when you're reaching out to us for tech support. So, yeah, if you find a couple of the parts you need and you want to buy the rest of them brand new because you can't find them used anywhere, we're your source. If you want to just buy all of them new, you know it's going to be expensive, but you say, hey, I've had this mower long enough, I haven't had to put a dime into it, it's paid for itself more than once, I'm more than happy to put some money into it now to raise it up and have it looking closer to new again. Yeah, let us know. We'll get you hooked up. So again, the website is www.roboticmowerservices.com. The email address, roboticmowerservices@gmail.com. Be sure to like our Facebook page. Be sure to follow us on Instagram as well. And most importantly, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any future videos where we give all kinds of good information like this. So that's going to do it for this video here. As always, we appreciate the support, and thanks for watching.